Hey everyone, Random Randy here. This is Yarn Talk episode 28. Not really a lot to show you this week. I'm mostly trying to finish up some of the excessive quantities of things that I already have started. And I have 3 finished objects and 1 active work in progress to show, and that's really pretty much it for this week. So I'm going to start off with a small thing that is finished. And I guess you can only call it a half finished object because it's actually going to be part of a set. But to make me feel better about myself, I'm going to say that it's just a finished object straight out. It is a dishcloth. Get it closer so maybe you can see the stitches. This is Premier Home Cotton. It is 85% cotton, 15% polyester, and this particular colorway is called Tangerine Splash. I also have one that I believe is called Sahara Splash. It's a tan and white blend like this. And I found that the cotton polyester blends are softer, less likely to pill, and the color, this vibrant color, sticks longer. So your piece ultimately lasts longer. So I have that one done. It's actually going to be part of a set of 4 dishcloths, washcloths, however you want to use it. Honestly, they're huge. You could definitely wash yourself with this. It's about 8 inches square. And I'm actually going to be making a tutorial for these. They're super simple, but I wanted to show everybody the stitch pattern that I used after experimenting with a lot of different things and finding that I just really didn't like the way it turned out once it got wet. I mean, it looks all fine and dandy when it's dry, but once it gets used a few times and it stretches, how big are the holes? How little actual contact with the fabric are you having because you used double crochets in something? This is actually single and half double crochets. So that's going to be part of a set of 4. The other thing, well, the second thing that I have done, which I'm not going to be able to show all in this, so I'm actually going to insert a clip after I'm done jabbering about it of me holding it up to show you how massive it turned out. This is the Dracarys blanket. It is made with 2 strands of homespun held together. See, I'm trying to hold it up so that at least a big portion of it can kind of be shown so you get the idea of the color. But I used the Edwardian colorway, and Harvest is this pretty orange, red, yellow that looks like leaves in the fall, and the Edwardian is the gray-black blend. I ended up using just under 4 skeins of this. I was actually working on it last night, and it is getting so massive that it was getting uncomfortable to work with. The ending unblocked measurement. Hi buddy, yep, mommy's got a bright light. So the unblocked measurement of the blanket ended up being 52 inches by 42 inches. Once it gets washed, it's going to loosen up a little bit and be even bigger. I considered using the rest of the yarn to do a border around it so that it wouldn't just keep getting wider, but it would also get slightly longer. No. This thing is already so heavy that even just holding it right now is pretty much making me sweat. So yeah, I will insert the clip here of this so you get to see just how huge it actually is. Oh, and this here is, I believe, the spot that I was at when I showed it in the last yarn talk, which was longer ago than I thought it was. I don't know how that happened, but anyway. it's done now. All the ends are woven in, and I'm probably going to end up sending it in one of those vacuum seal compressor bags where you hook up the vacuum hose to it and it sucks all the air right out of the package, just to fit it into a smaller box. Fold up that monster and get it out of the way. Alright, so I actually have 2 more finished objects because I totally forgot about the one I'm wearing on my head. This is what I call the Rosie Wrap. It is my own design. As you can see, my hair is horrible, but as you can see, it actually ties in a knot here. It's completely adjustable. It comes apart and you can tie it tighter or slightly looser. It's got little rabbit ear-like portions that are quasi-posable. You can adjust their location based upon how you want it to be. Let's see if I can get this back on. But yeah, this is just made with Red Heart Super Saver. This is blacklight yarn. And I just did a border with some black scraps. I'm not sure if it was Red Heart Super Saver. It might have been Hirschner's. They're comparable thickness. But I'm actually going to be filming a tutorial for this, and I will have a PDF available for it eventually. Sometime in the next 2 weeks. Here's hoping. So there's that. So my other finished object is this guy right here. This is a puff stitch, messy bun, or ponytail beanie, depending upon your perspective. Bunny ears, because I'm not going to put this on my head right now. But this is actually an adaptation of a few different patterns that I found. Most of them that I have seen don't actually do the decreasing puff stitch, like up here, where you essentially do one puff stitch and then a fastening. Instead of fastening off with a chain, you go right into the next stitch, do another puff, then do your chain, so that decreases your quantity of stitches. Rather than taking it from the full size and just cinching it and tying it, weaving in the end a million times. I hated that. So yeah, this actually decreases the size of it until you get it where you want it. I could have actually completed it like I did with my green puff stitch hat that I showed before, but since bun hats are such a huge thing, I thought that this would be a good idea. So I'll be definitely making more of those. And my only other active work in progress, aside from the fact that I finished one more row on my patriotic blanket, which I'm not going to bother getting out because it just has another white row across it. But the only other active work in progress I have is the second washcloth, dishcloth of that set of 4. And that is made with this right here. This is another Premier cotton yarn. Let me see if I can find the tag for it. There it is. It's another Premier cotton. It's 83% cotton, 15% polyester, and this particular one is also 2% metallic, which is the sparkly, shiny silver stuff that you see there. So I thought that 2 of these paired with 2 of the orange would make for a good Halloween gift set, or a treat yourself set, you know, whichever. A gift to yourself is still a gift, right? But I thought that would be a good thing to do, since the girl who had initially asked me to make a cover-up for her with that black sparkly cotton this summer ended up not getting back in touch with me about it. So now I've got 3 giant, oh lord, how big are they? I think they're 10-ounce skeins. Yeah, 9.87 ounces. So I have 3 skeins of this black silver glitter cotton poly blend. And I'm like, what am I gonna do with that? So that is pretty much it for this week, I guess. I am planning on, like I said, starting to film a tutorial probably every other evening. I'm gonna get some backed up made ahead so that I'll be able to start releasing them gradually rather than just going, here's 20 videos all at once, watch them all now, because you know that it doesn't work like that. You gotta put things out maybe daily at most, but yeah, not gonna be releasing them that often. Aiming for 1 tutorial a week, 1 yarn talk a week, and possibly just a chatty random video if I feel up to it. The nice thing about it not being Vlogust anymore is I don't have to film if I don't want to. And if you're here for just the crafty stuff, that's it. If you want to stick around for a minute or two, I won't keep you much longer, but I'm going to have a little bit of a life chat. Today was a pretty decent day. I took the boys to a park nearby that is actually right on the edge of the water. It's actually attached to a beach. There were a few small playgrounds there, and it's actually right next to train tracks. It's, you know, fenced off and it's completely safe, so it's not like you have to worry about your kids running across the train tracks or anything, but it was super cool, and the boys got very excited when they got to see the trains going by. I think we saw 4 different trains go past in the hour and a half we were there. Totally crazy. And then we went down to the beach, which was right there attached to the playground and everything. There was just a little path to get down the hill to it. And we got to play in the water. We didn't go very deep because we weren't dressed for swimming, but I had brought a towel just in case. So we took off our shoes and our socks, and Hunter walked right into the water. If he had his way, he probably would have dove right in, and I would have had to chuck my phone to the shore and go after him because Hunter doesn't really know how to swim super well yet. So that was kind of panic-inducing that he had absolutely no fear of it whatsoever. There was kind of a floating bed of seaweed that was just a couple inches from shore that he was kind of icked out about walking through. But other than that, he couldn't care less. He was having a blast, and Killian didn't want to go anywhere near the water. He was about a foot away from it, and every time the tide would come closer, he'd scoot farther back and keep chucking rocks at the water. Which is fine. That means that I didn't have to chase 2 kids and have to worry about them trying to drown themselves, so that was awesome. And then we just recently had dinner, and we're just kind of winding down from a day out in the sun and with fresh air on the water. It was pretty awesome. I know that I've said multiple times that I'm not a religious person, but I am a spiritual person, and being in a natural body of water after not having been in one for so long, I think the last time that I actually got to swim was when I was still pregnant with Hunter. And I grew up on a lake, so not being in or around bodies of water is a lot harder on me than I thought it would be. Because actually being in that water almost up to my knees, it made me feel good like I haven't felt in a really long time. And if you're somebody who has dealt with depression on any level, you probably get what I'm talking about. How you can have days where you're okay, but you never have a day where you're like, oh my god, everything is wonderful, life is great, everyone should know how fabulous and glorious existence is right now. Yeah, that's not something that usually happens very often when you're suffering from depression. But being in that water, just feeling the movement and the energy of it, it was a spiritual experience for me, and it was amazing. And people in the spiritual community, gurus, leaders, whatever you want to call them depending upon what path you follow, often speak about how next to light, the form of energy in our world that is closest to source energy is water, which is why taking a bath feels so fantastic, which is why people are baptized in water christened in water. There's a reason for that, because the energy that resonates within the water is the second closest in our reality to source energy. And it's awesome. So we're going to have to make a point of going back, because I haven't felt that alive in a really long time. So, if you stuck around through my little bit of woo and my little bit of chat about the playground and hanging out with the kids all day, thank you for sticking around, and hopefully you don't think I'm too bananas. And you will be hearing from me sometime in the next few days, probably for a tutorial video. I hope you all have an awesome weekend, especially if you are one of the people who is enjoying an extended 3-day weekend. I hope you get to spend it with people whose company you enjoy and have some awesome food. The boys are watching Care Bears down there, and it is hilarious, apparently. But anyway, so thank you so much to all of my new subscribers. Last time I checked, I was at 240, which is fantastic. Steadily creeping towards the 300 mark. Yes! And thank you to all the old subscribers that have stuck around, and everybody who kind of sort of hung out with me through Vlogust. We kind of had some back and forth conversations in the comments, which is awesome. That's the kind of interaction that I really enjoy. It's part of the reason that I keep bothering to come back to record. And hopefully you like it too, because I am still at a point where my audience is small enough that I am able to reply to every comment, and I'd like to try and keep it that way for a while. So again, thank you so much everybody for watching, and I will catch you next time. Bye.